successful engagement in the King and I in Dallas. The next week he opens in Hyannisport in South Pacific. Would you welcome Ricardo Montalban? My friend.
You are the amazing Mr. Carson now, Johnny.
I wish you'd have been out here to participate in that, because you are in great physical shape, because we played tennis together, and you're a very strong man.
Yeah, that spread eagle, I don't know that I can do that spread eagle.
That really was...
that's a tough one, isn't it?
A little bit too much.
And the jumping with one leg, it's incredible. Isn't that marvelous how one can learn by communicating with different countries in the world? Isn't that... I wish we would do more of that.
Kicking up in the air. How have you been?
Well, I've been very busy, Johnny, thank God.
Went very well, I understand, and King and I.
Did the King and I in Dallas, and I must say the audience is absolutely remarkable. They're very warm and wonderful. I did it with Constance Towers, and it was a lovely experience. The only thing that is difficult, I've never had this experience before, and that is that it's a magic word called summer stock.
Right.
And I arrived there, and I had never worked with Connie, and you have 1 week's rehearsal.
For a play.
To do the King and I. Now, some of the critics review you as if this were a Broadway play, where you had 3 or 4 weeks rehearsal and then go out of town.
Right.
5 days, it's a miracle you put the game, the show on that stage.
Yeah, they shouldn't look at it as you've been out of town for 2 months and then go to Broadway, because, as you say,
that's right.
It's very limited.
So now, around the 20th, I am going to go to Hyannisport and do South Pacific with Janet Blair. And
are you in rehearsal for that now already?
Not yet. 1 week's rehearsal also, you see. And I've never done that show, but I enjoy it.
I mean, you have a week to learn the lines, the book, the songs, and go in.
Very, very difficult. And it's the first time, because, you know, the score is so beautiful. And it was written for the great voice of Ezio Pinza, who was one of the great voices the world has ever known, possibly. And so when they cast this play, they always cast a singer who can act, or an actor who can sing. I am an actor who can't sing, and I have my problems, but I will try to do something
I think you do. I saw you in a movie a couple of weeks ago. Now, you were dancing with two gals, wasn't it?
Oh, with Ann Miller and Sid Charisse.
Yes.
I lifted them both at the same time.
You did a thing, like a tango or something? You had one in each arm.
I was much younger then, Johnny.
And you were doing the whole business. How many pictures did you do with Esther Williams?
With Esther Williams, I did 3. My very first picture in this country called Fiesta, in which I played her brother. Then I graduated to be her rejected lover. She rejected me for Peter Lawford. And in the third one, full graduation, I was her boyfriend or lover. You know, it was called Neptune's Daughter.
So you had to work your way up from the rejected suitor to
that? Yes, from boyhood to marriage, I graduated. And I swam a great deal with Esther. She was really a very graceful, marvelous swimmer. It was incredible what she could do in that water and make it look so beautiful.
You know, something we never talked about in the show, and we played tennis together, which is, of course, a big sport here now. But we never really discussed bullfighting, and which is really not, they don't call it a sport, do they, in the South? They call it an art, or it's almost like a national...
well, yes, Johnny.
The people here don't understand it.
Well, it is difficult because, you know, I have lived in this country long enough and to realize how North Americans feel about any kind of cruelty to animals. And I must say that now I see it and I am aware of it, and I have grown a little cold towards bullfighting. Simply by osmosis, I suppose. But in those days, when I was in Mexico, you didn't really see the cruelty too much because it was like... we felt that it was really better to die in the bull ring than in the slaughterhouse, where you have no chance whatsoever. And that in the heat of battle, you know, you've known that soldiers sometimes have a piece of shrapnel, and they don't even know they have it until their body cools off. That in the heat of battle, pain is a very relative thing, if at all, you know, that doesn't exist. But the art of bullfighting is something, you know, that passes, the different passes with the cape and the muleta, is an art, Johnny, that is considered one of the finest arts in the world.
I have watched it because they carry it here on one of the channels, the high-frequency channels, and I am always impressed by the grace and the beauty and the moves and everything, and then sometimes I get a little bit turned off at the end.
You see, it's like things that are very, very great can be very, very bad. I mean, the fine line, if something is mediocre, you know, it can be too bad or too good. When something can achieve the height of that artistic expression, when it is bad, it is very, very bad. There is nothing more horrible than a bad bullfight. Nothing. But there are moments in there, you see, where you see, I think, for instance, a pianist, you can say, you know, will there ever be a better pianist than Horowitz? You say, well, perhaps, you know, one day, or maybe already there is somebody. Or a better painter than Rembrandt, or I don't know. Can there be a better bullfighter than so-and-so? You say, yes, but there are certain moments in bullfighting when the pass has such perfection, because you see there is the limit of death. As the bull comes, as the horn comes so close, it can't be any closer. So for one magic moment, you witness sometimes what is perfection, which you can very seldom witness in any other form of art.
Well, you explain it. I'm almost ready to get a cape and go and try that. We'll take a break here, and we have a fascinating gentleman on the show tonight. I'm glad you're here. I think you'll find this. We are back. I just explained to Ricardo, I don't want you to think that I'm cutting our conversation short tonight because I admire you too much, but we got a little behind time, and I wanted to devote a little time to this gentleman, which I think, I've been reading a lot of research on him.